What's up, everybody? We're here live. Got Coach Danny Brandt here with me tonight because this man right here is a big fan of the body kick, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Is it the king of all strikes for traditional Muay Thai? We hear a lot of people say, body kick, body kick, body kick. And here's the thing. There is no hierarchy of strikes in Muay Thai. It's all about effect. But the body kick can be significantly more effective than the others. And I'm going to go through a list of other things why I have it as a higher value than a lot of the other Muay Thai strikes. But Danny, start off with anything real quick on the body kick that you're to comment on.
Yeah, for me, obviously, everything is scored equally. Every weapon, is measured the same. And it's also up to interpretation, so like everything's scored equally and, they score on damage. But to me, a kick is like a body kick is easy to tell when it lands hard and it lands clean.
Yeah.
It shows effectiveness. So if I kick somebody clean in the ribs and the leg doesn't block it, it obviously shows, damage to the ribs. If I kick somebody hard up by the shoulder or the arm, and maybe they're punching or kicking, it's going to knock them off balance. Whereas to me, if somebody kicks low, obviously if it's not being blocked, it's usually pretty easy to block or evade. Unless it's like kicking the legs out from underneath them, showing significant disruption of the balance and damage to the legs, that would be significant to me. But a good hard body kick, to me, just registers easy for the judges. It's easy to score.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through a list here that I've kind of compiled of why I have the body kick, and some of the stuff is what Mr. Danny's already mentioned. But I want to say that the body kick, and maybe a teep, but obviously a body kick is going to be a lot more effective, is the only weapon really that when timed and placed effectively cannot be countered by the other weapons. Meaning that punches can be, you can elbow somebody when they hook. You can come up the middle with an elbow. You can be kicked when they try to punch. When they knee, you can be punching when you knee someone. Elbows can be elbowed, at the same time with somebody. But if you body kick someone with the proper distance and effectiveness, you can't be countered by an elbow. You can't be countered by a punch. You can't be countered by a knee. So I think that's kind of unique over that. One of the other things that I've also been taught in some of the things is the traditional type scoring is that the glove is a protected weapon. It's the only protected weapon, and that's why they really need to see a significant effect of the punch when it's a body kick versus a punch. The other one that I'm going to go with is the distance management and ring generalship with body kicking and the range that you're establishing. Body kick can control the range, it can control the rhythm. And then one of the other ones is you kind of can force people into range that you want to play. You can go kick to teep. You can also play a counter game where you're bringing them in and you're going to body kick them and maintain distance management and doing your range from there as well. And kind of like what you said, I think it registers the most visibly when it's landed effectively, clean, and accurately. So what do you think of that?
I agree. I mean, I think in the beginning you said that it's probably, I don't know if you said it was uncounterable, but
it's not
hardest for sure.
It's the least. If it's done effectively, it's very difficult to counter.
I mean, unless you're Danny Bill and you're sweeping everybody every time you throw a body kick, which is very hard to time. It's very hard to time realistically. So I mean, I think it's a safe bet to, if you have a good, powerful kick, you're fast, you have good timing, and like you mentioned, range control, distance control. With a good teep and a good body kick, you can score and evade a lot of damage.
Yep.
So
one of the fights I chose here today to go over, because there's some really good body kick exchanges here. Samingdet versus Michael Savvas, the first fight. where there's a lot of good exchanges where the puncher, Savvas, will win on some exchanges, and then on some of the body kick exchanges, Samingdet's winning. So going here with this first clip, it goes by round. We're in the third round here. And right here, Samingdet's up a little bit with that fake kick to punch. That hook cross is not going to weigh as much as that body kick. It's close.
Right.
But we can continue on with this clip. I'll go into the.
And the kick moved Michael.
Yeah. So we can go through, let this one play all the way through. I think there's one more exchange in this. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, there he lands a hook cross in that exchange. We can pause it real quick on that last one. He lands a hook cross. You might see. I wouldn't be mad if a judge called that a wash. If they said, hey, they're even at that. But I would say that in some of the traditional in the stadium, you're going to probably get the body kicker winning that exchange.
I would believe so.
So we're going to go to this next clip. Now that body kick really moved him off balance. Then he's going to the head. His counter is a hook to the body. These are two really big scores. That hook cross is not scoring.
No.
And he's controlling this. That's not really a round kick there. It's kind of more of like this sleeping teeth. So on these type of kicks there where, Michael does come back with a nice, it's like a snap front kick. I've seen him throw that before. But this first kick by Samingdet really pulls him off balance. Then he goes up a little bit higher. And I think that hook cross is, so in this all exchange here, Samingdet controlling with that body kick. And we can go to the next one. I think we're going to show some favorable ones for Savvas, though. I'm not going to make this one-sided. This is a very close fight.
Right.
So that one
nice
right
left
there was a little bit more off-balancing where both strikes landed. I think the two to the body, hook to the head, moved him back.
Snapped his head.
Yep. And you're going to see evasion to the kick. Knee. Let's see. I think there's one more exchange. But yeah, on that one, Savvas is getting that. I think I'm going to wave at him. One of the things here at the end of this exchange, I want you to check out here, Danny, at the end of it, the end of the clip, I think Samingdet lands a body kick to a teep. It's really fast with his rear leg right there.
Nice.
And those are those little things that, the casual fan, they watch and they're just like,
extremely hard to do. Requires really good balance.
But that's scoring highly right there because it's making Michael off balance too in that.
Is mitigating the punches, the counter punches.
Yeah. We'll watch this through one more time. So definitely Michael on that.
Clean left hook. That snapped his head to the side.
Definitely Michael there, evasion and the kick. Nice knee. Now, while this is a really good kick to teep, if we took that whole part in exchange, I'm giving that to Savvas just a little bit, but yeah. So we can move on to the next one. That one, I'm kind of at a wash because it didn't snap like that other one did.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, that hook to the body definitely lands in the cross. It's just not showing effect. Let me see. Is this one all the way? Let me see this one. So teep. Danny, what do you think on that? That hook to the body over the top with the right? You still?
I mean, the hook to the body to me, it looks like it lands. Might hit his arm. The right hand lands. Doesn't snap his head back though.
Yeah. So I'm leaning at the body kick on that. I'm gonna say that the more of the stadium scoring is going to be on the body kick on that one. Okay. All right. We can move on to the next one, I believe. let's see, what round are we in here? 4th round. So right here at the beginning of 4th round, controlling with the teep, nice. Big body kick there.
Yeah.
Now, Michael's return body kick just doesn't have the same snap, even though it kind of lands as well. Good knee. Yeah. You see that pause right there, and then the delay to the right hand.
Yeah.
And then that he came with the body kick there, it just didn't have the same snap as that one.
Right.
So this is all at the end of the 4th round. He had to go get a doctor check right after that, for his cuts. But we can just start from here. Big body kick that's moving him. Pretty decent half shin, half knee kind of thing.
Yeah. That was a good knee. Nothing there.
So what do you got on that exchange there, that whole series?
Samingdet. I mean, just the big body kick in the beginning. He landed a couple punches. So right here lands a big kick. Savvas tries to counter. He lands a couple punches here, snaps Savvas' head back.
Seeing like Savvas comes with like a half shin, half knee.
Savvas gets a knee there. Is clean knee. Here, nothing much there. Right that's kind of like a half kick knee, not too much on it. Oh. And Samingdet lands a little catch a teep counter with a punch. So
yeah, cool.
I got him up here.
I think we're going to go now into the 5th round here. Yeah. So these are ones here that nothing punch is clear, but they're thrown and you pull and knocking the leg back a little bit. But one thing, yeah. But I'm gonna let it play here a little bit. It's a nice body kick at the end there.
That was a clean kick.
Yeah. So right here, the 2-3 doesn't really – maybe the 2 lands, but the hook definitely doesn't land.
No.
And then the low kick, that low kick lands. But I feel like – and here's the thing that I don't think you're going to see this. This is one of those like unspoken things, but this is my opinion, that if you're in the 5th round and the low kick hasn't been a thing that's like showing effect at this time, is not going to be scored as effective, as that body kick still.
Right.
That's just my opinion, but I think it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a judge, so I don't have a whole lot to say on that, but I could understand.
Yeah,
there's a lot of little intricacies in judging, and I've heard about them, and I've talked to a lot of smart people that know, and I could see that.
Yeah. So let's see here.
That was a clean kick, So he lands the low kick. But he landed a good body kick too, so.
Yeah. I see I think he lands one more body kick here. He makes a miss, pulls him in, and then body kicks him.
That's knocked him off balance a bit too.
Good defense there. So, I mean, I think when you watch this and you see Savvas come with 2 punches and a kick, and maybe the low kick blows his leg out, people might be thinking that those 2-3 land. Now, if it does land, he's definitely way up on the cards. But yeah. So we're going to run through. I think that was the last clip. Let me see if is there one more. That might be the last one. Yeah, that is the last one. Okay, so we're going to run through them all one more time. Danny, you tell me what you're seeing here. We're going to run through the first one, round 3.
Good, clean body kick. Savvas tries to counter, but doesn't outweigh his clean kick. And then a nice little kick punch there.
Yeah.
Was it 2 in a row, or is it loop?
No. It's just replaying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's like 2 kick punches back to back.
Yeah. All right. We'll go through the next one here. Yep. We're going to go through it again. clip 2.
Okay, the liver shot lands, but I thought the kick knocked him off balance. The right hand landed that time. Not much in that kick. Elbow.
I think that was it on that one. Yeah. All right. Next one.
Looks like he landed the elbow. Big kick. Ooh,
but
big
yeah. And he's staying on the ropes after that. I think I'm moving that one Savvas.
Yeah. Yeah, and the counter low kick.
Good
knee. Yeah.
This is that kick teep right there.
Yeah. So maybe Savvas in the end of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Last clip. And that's all the same round, 3?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and then here's the start of 4.
Lands the right hand. But he gets kicked pretty good.
He has some kicks that are in the fight where he's literally having Savvas pause, but right there, Savvas is able to answer really quick off of it.
Yeah.
All right, we could go to the next one.
Yeah, not a whole lot from that one. So in the beginning of this clip, he lands a big kick. That was a good knee, but Samingdet in the beginning lands a good kick.
Yeah, that right there was a big one to me, that pause.
Yeah. High kick there.
That was
the clear telling stories when he lands a kick, it knocks him off balance.
Yeah.
And snapped his head back with like a jab or a cross there. I think it was his jab. Nice knee from Savvas.
Okay, cool. We can go to the 5th round here, the last one. These are the difficult ones.
Yeah.
Because he's pressing. It's the 5th round.
Clean kick knocks him off balance.
Yeah.
Clean kick. Makes him miss the punch. Makes him miss. Counters with the kick.
So we can take the clips off. So Danny, in a fight like this, you're fighting a really strong body kicker that's southpaw, and you got a conventional stance person.
Right.
You're giving up some points. Maybe you see in the first couple rounds with your fighter giving up a couple rounds. What kind of adjustments do you think you would be making right there with a southpaw has got a really nice body kick that's just timing real well?
Yeah, I'm gonna have him maybe obviously feint a lot. Try and dominate for that step to the left. Maybe use his lead hand so he's not opening up his body so much with the rear punch. So jab, maybe fake, hook, kick. I'm gonna use a lot of basically he's trying to score a kick under my punch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to negate that. So I'll feint a lot. I'll use my lead hand. I'm gonna try and beat him to it. So I'll fake and then kick. Basically, just don't want to fall into his trap if he's trying to bait me into punching.
Yeah, don't be too square in front.
Right, exactly. Try and keep him off balance. So if in this case, Samingdet is the counter fighter. He's trying to make space and bring him towards the ropes. So in this case, if you're gonna pressure him, you want to pressure him. Make sure you keep him off balance. there's different strategies to both guys really, but in the stance, I'm going to try and take his power away from his kick, move to my left. I'm constantly going to feint and keep him off balance so that he can't land a good clean kick.
I think, and it's semi off topic, but it's not. I think the success that you see Thai fighters have in kickboxing with, in K1 and Glory is with that body kick because of shutting down the weapons of the hands when it's done correctly, which a lot of the other styles, they blend everything, low kicks, punch heavy, everything. But you see the successful when Bokal fought K1, Petch and Glory, a lot of their fights are won with body kick, controlling
distance.
So
a lot of those guys that are hard punchers, they're trying to keep space in between them. They don't. If they could keep that space and then they step into punch, they could time the kick, and they're able to score and do damage without getting too close. And then even though they can't clinch in kickboxing, they may.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying, like, if you see it's kind of in that Savvas fight, you can see that when the body kick is landed clean and effectively, it's difficult to counter. It's very difficult to counter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it requires you can almost. Are you good enough to beat him at his own game? If you're going to be a pressure fighter and try and beat him with hands and knees, you really got to disrupt his balance.
Yeah, I see a lot of guys they march, at their raises. As they march, they're blocking and trying to walk in. But even then, it's when you have a body kick land, as I was saying in the very beginning of the video, you can step off as opposed to like punching and you step off your closer range. But a kick can step off a little bit more distance for a guy trying to clinch you. But yeah. That's it, man. On the body kick, what do you? Is it the king, or is it just it's you top it up? You got it up there at the top of the list.
I mean, again, like we started the conversation, all weapons are scored equal. So, but at the end of the day, it's also up to interpretation. So, if you look at the history of fighting, a lot of foreigners would lose because they maybe block with their arms or they're low kicking a lot. They're punching a lot. Like you mentioned, the glove is maybe not, even though it scores, if someone snaps your head back, they're looking at it as well, that the hand is protected. So it's not as powerful. It doesn't do as much damage. So at the end of the day, it's up to interpretation. For me, I like body kicks because I like to hurt the body. I like for my fighters to hurt the body. I like fighters to take all the wind out of the sails. And that's an easy way to take someone's energy without putting yourself in a lot of danger. Again, you have to be good at kicking. You have to have good balance. You have to have good speed, good ring IQ. If you don't have all that and you're just throwing a lot of kicks, then you may get swept a lot, counter punch, counter kick. Maybe they'll beat you to it. So you have to be good everywhere.
You got to be conditioned also to be body kicking.
Absolutely. So to me, it's my personal favorite. It's a king for me. Have a good fighter. A lot of fighters too, they like to catch kicks. So if you have really good balance and you can, negate their counter, whether it's a sweep or another kick or a knee or a punch, if you have good balance and you can negate that, then you can constantly kick somebody. And a lot of fighters, a lot of gyms, they're practicing catching and sweeping, and now it's like they're one trick pony.
Yeah.
So if you could constantly negate that sweep or that counter, you're going to score, you're going to do damage. And to me, that's my favorite personally.
Yeah, I remember, in all of the IFMAs when we get together, you're always very adamant telling the team that, hey, you might catch kicks nationally, but you're going against some different, levels here. And don't rely on catching kicks. And I think that, when you body kick somebody and you pull it away while they're trying to catch it, if you body kick someone and they try to sweep you and you maintain balance, you're showing, control.
You're showing dominance.
Balance. Yeah.
You're showing dominance. Not only did you land a clean score that did damage, you're negating their counter and you're making them look bad. So in the case of maybe breaking their posture, you can block the hips, like we teach a lot of the young athletes and the new teammates that come to Team USA. You break the posture and you break them down, and the referee's gonna have to come over and separate you. Nothing looks better to the judges. You scored clean, they tried to counter, and then you just made them look really bad by shutting their offense down. And the same thing if you can, retract your kick and pull it out of there. As long as your kick still lands hard and does some damage, to me that looks really easy to score for the judges. It's a clear sign that you're dominating.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end here. I want to thank Coach Danny. I brought him in because I know this guy's a big fan of the body kick.
I like all the weapons. I like punching. Obviously my guys love the punch. We got kids that box all year round. I love all the weapons, but for me, if you're asking a kick, like which kick is the favorite, high kicks, easy to defend. You're an advanced fighter, you train with your hands up all the time. Low kicks, to me, easy to defend. Body kicks, they're easy to defend too, but for me, I love to hit the body. I like to really hurt somebody to the body. So what better weapon to use than the body kick?
Yes, sir. I think that brings us to the end. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll do some follow-up on the school. I'm sure we have some comments, maybe some people that are like, no, that's not true.
Like I said, everything scores equal. I'm just giving my interpretation and what I think works really well for me.
Yeah, and it does. I'm 100%. It does score equal, but you see, it takes a little bit. When you kick somebody, you're in a different zone than a punching zone, and so like when you see Savvas, he's coming in, he's got to crash the zone, multiple punches to a kick, and that's how you beat the kicker. But we're running out of time.
That was a very close fight too.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend you all watch number 1 and 2. We have it on our Stadium Pro Muay Thai.com. You can register and you can score the fights and see how you go against the Rajadamnern judges. We have both fights up on the platform, and you can see how the rest of the world scores the fight. I thought the first one was a lot closer than the second one, and the second one had a split decision. So that's how close these fights are. Definitely worth checking out.
Yep. Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Until next time. Yep. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.